Good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? This is Ty back with the American Reaching Mahjong League. We got some exciting games for y'all tonight. Looking forward to some good action. Hope y'all doing good. I'm joined tonight by a frequent guest of the commentary booth, John,
Hello.
and a less frequent guest to the booth, our buddy Will. How are you doing tonight, Will?
Hello, hello. The last time I commentated was on Mahjong Soul like 6 years ago, but it's good to be back.
Welcome back to the game, Will.
Will joining us from Richinomi, is that right?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's a little later over there, getting a little late in the evening East Coast time, but we've got some exciting games coming up tonight. Here in just a couple of minutes, we've got an exciting B1 game with Alexander, Caden, Jen, and you expect to remember four things. Daniel. Um, Caden, of course, one of our resident personal assistants who helps keeps uh, the gears turning for the entire league. Uh, and Jen, of course, who name you might recognize is Jen Barr, one of our resident JPML pros. So very excited for some gameplay tonight, and that is not discounting neither Alexander nor Daniel, both two very accomplished players as well. Just not ones I'm as educated on, but it looks like we'll be starting in just a couple of minutes. Let me swap the screen here. So let's see who's getting
What?
us started. Looks like most of our
When
players have played 4 games, but Daniel's only gotten in 2.
I'm gonna try not to be biased towards Caden as he regularly shows up to Madison Mahjong Club. Good to have him around. Jen, when I was in college, I once played as a substitute in a game against Jen, and it's a game that I will never forget, and a game that Jen wishes she could forget. But hey, Jen's in B1, and I'm kicking around as a commentator who doesn't even play in the league. Game's going to be starting in about a minute or so. Looking over the stats, does anything stand out to you, Will?
Not really. The scores are still pretty tight. Nobody is deep in the hole, so I don't really expect we will be seeing any desperate plays. It is also early in the league. Most of these players only have 4 games played, so there is ample time to catch up to the top.
Taking a look at the win stats, what stands out to me is Alexander starting off 4 games with a 0% win rate minus deal in rate. Just probably bad luck to start off the season, although not in too deep of a hole, only minus 30.8. Caden, higher call rate, 9.3% reachy rate is actually kind of freaky. We have Jen and Alexander on kind of the other side of that. Um, Actually, Jen only has around a 13.5% reachy rate. Alexander has more like what I would expect, 21.4%.
It could just
No,
be bad luck on Caden's side, where the hands aren't really coming together, and then towards the end, you just call for Tenpai.
well, here we go. The game has started. We're going to have Daniel as our first dealer. On the right side, Alexander. Across from Daniel will be Jen. And to the left side will be Caden. And Caden has a pair of green dragons to start off.
Oh,
That's always very nice to see. A call right away, yes! Taking the green dragons and a possible out for Honitsu. Already in Tenpai, waiting on the 3 Mons. I don't know. Do you take Tenpai right away or do you try to shift around with it a little bit? You know what? You take Tenpai right now because Kaden has 3 Doras. This is an
I think if
8,000
the
point bomb to
opportunity
start.
presents itself, like if you draw a Manzu, maybe something like a 3-mon. Well, 3-mon is sumo, but if you draw something like an 8-mon, which is it gives you a very wide Ishanten for Honitsu. That's also Dora 4 going for the Honitsu and going
Kaden draws.
for. A monster hand.
Kaden draws into Dora 4. If it ends up as Honitsu, this would be a Hanemon, 12,000 points. Draws another Monzu. Who?
That's Tempai.
That's Tenpai on the 3 Mon. Does anyone suspect a thing yet? Right now, those discards are looking pretty normal. Kaden hasn't particularly made any calls for the Monzu yet.
I don't think it'll come out from our dealer here. The cut is looking like Formon for Richi Pinfu
Oh
Utsu.
no. Alex
But it
deals in
comes
the
out.
3 Mon, Hatsu, Honitsu, Dora 4, Hanemon, 12,000 points goes across the table. Kaden making quite the statement to start off this game, 42,000 points. Alex falls down into 18,000 as we go into the next round. What a start for Kaden.
Yeah, if you're Alex, that is definitely not the Roan you want to be seeing on turn 7. Hopefully, it doesn't affect his mental. And we'll get with East 2.
Into East 2. Taking a look at these hands, there's a pair of the green dragons in Alex's hand. Jen has a pair of the red dragons. White dragons are just a little bit scattered. Daniel's going to complete a triplet of the 6 Monzu as we see some we see some routine garbage cycling. What is Jen doing discarding the 4-pin early? Is this a shot for orphans maybe?
It looks like Chanta. You can call the tune and then cut the 5 so, and then you just need one more call, and then you're Tempai for Chanta.
Yeah, my quirky got too excited for
Great draw for
Kokoshi.
Jen, though. Anko of 1p.
That is a good draw. I think Will might be a bit ahead of me. Will's seeing maybe a second into the future compared to my stream. East is gonna come out. Jen is gonna continue to hold on to East for a little bit as it's a guaranteed safe drop. I kind of like that strategy.
Yeah, it's twice cut. Maybe if she draws a 1-mon, can consider upgrading for Sancho Kudoko, because it is quite the meme hand. But for now, it's just business as usual. Tempai for Alex, though, waiting on 6-9 so. And Jen draws one.
One of the 9 cells gets draws, so that's gonna prompt Jen to drop the East. Con by Kaden, 9 Mon. And a Ricci put down, waiting on the 2 so 8-pin. That's gonna be a lot of Ura if Kaden's able to hit any of them. And the 9 so comes out. Hatsu, Dora, 2,900. Alex building up a little bit, also taking the Ricci stick off of Kaden, back over 20,000. Still a little bit of a row to work on, getting back to even, but hey, it's early in the game. Just keep playing for positive EV.
Yeah, unfortunately, Alex's hand wasn't worth much, so being able to squeeze out a victory when someone else is in Ricci, you definitely want to see those snipes.
Is there a particular drive to be more offensive or more aggressive when you're dealer compared to when you're non-dealer in the East round?
Generally, you definitely want to push a bit more, just because you have the threat of Renchan and your hands being worth more. So your threat on the table for other players is slightly higher. But on the other hand, it doesn't give you a license to go completely crazy.
Hayden's gonna open up, calling the Sanzo, making a push towards probably Tanyao. The Tumon gets called across the way. Another is this a Tanyao push by Alex? Why the call?
It could be a Tanya, it could be Yakuhai. just seeing what he draws,
Well, you
and
have a chance for
he ends up
Yakuhai there
getting
in
the
the
double
East.
east, and double east is very valuable because it is
Double
two
East is
Han.
Double East is very valuable, but I'm doubting that Daniel's going to drop any of his Double Easts either. Tenpai for Kaden waiting on the 2-5 pin. Quick and easy Tanya with one Dora in hand.
There's a world where somebody reaches and then the double east come out, but probably not.
9 pin gets called. Daniel's probably leaning on that double east as well, maybe making a push towards Toy Toy.
Yeah, this is a hand you definitely want to pivot towards Toy Toy if you can.
Jen's making a shift towards Honitsu with Adora in hand. Neither the west nor the north is Yakuhai for her, however. And Kaden draws the 5 pin. Tanya, Dora 1, 500, 1000. More like 600, 1100 with the Honba sticks. Kaden increases his lead by a little bit. We move into East 3 with Jen as the dealer. Jen starting off with 3 pairs. Don't really want to know if that 4, 5, 6, 6 counts as a pair. Nice fill in of the
Really
pinch
good
on
draw,
shape 7, 8,
yeah.
9.
That is definitely a draw you want to see, filling in one of your worst shapes. Drawing the Ipeiko upgrade.
This is very
Is,
nice. Albeit it
is
is a Conchon. Alex, on the other hand, triplet of the Tuso, pair of the 1 pin. This probably is just going to be a Ricci run. Interesting to see how Alex will play the 2-2-2-3, however.
you do have slight overlap in your Manzu shapes. You're happy if you draw 7 Mon, but if you draw 4 Mon, you are a bit sad. So, because it's a bit early and your hand has no value, you might want to cut like 8 Mon to hedge for Ipeiko, or you can look for another shape in the Sozu.
That
He ends up
2-2-2
cutting the 8 Mon once he draws the 4P, because it's Dora, and
gets the 4-6 Conchon with the Dora. Gonna cut away from that 2-2-2-3 shape, leaving the triplet alone. 6-7-8 fill-in for Daniel. Gonna be a throwdown of the Ricci stick, waiting only on the Tuso. 3 copies of the Tuso are in Alex's hand. There is still one Tuso floating around in the wall, but it seems like Alex controls the fate of Daniel's hand from here.
yeah, I don't think those two Sos are coming out unless some people get really desperate and throw out all the copies of the 3 So. Well, no, it's
There's a
never
fill-in of
coming
the
out.
4-5-6 Conchon. Better Ricci by Alex waiting on the 4-7 mod. Not particularly one of the stronger Rionmens, but hey, it's double-sided Rionmen, 8 copies floating around somewhere. Well, you got 4 Monzu in the discard pile. There's 4 tiles left in the wall, so it's a 4v1 virtually.
Yep, and this is one of those 2 Sos I would probably con. It looks somewhat dangerous, so you don't want to throw it, and dealer's not in Ricci, so you might as well.
Daniel's disconnected. I don't think he's gonna be able to take the. Well, here we go. Ricci, Dora.
The other
Ura
one comes
hits
out.
5,200, transferring from Jen to Alex. Alex making a really nice climb after dealing into 12,000 to start this Hanshan, up to 27,000. Just that's a part of the mental game of Mahjong, is when you make a big deal in early, you gotta keep your head in the game and keep making positive EV, and that's pretty much what Alex has been doing.
Looking
Speaking,
at these high pies, maybe Alex can go for Honitsu, but probably will just take the Ricci. if it ever comes. There's a Richi Ipeko Haku, probably. Oh,
Who
the takes
call
the pawn.
takes the pawn of the nine Manzu, probably relying on Haku coming out, or gotta be more ambitious and cut away from that 5-6-7 Pinzu shape. Well, there's the Haku. This is easy, 6 mon, 8 mon. Haku know me, but you take it.
3 tiles in the wall. 5 mon comes out, so maybe an 8 mon comes out sooner if people are wary and they draw it.
Looks like Caden's maybe making a push for Sanshoku 1, 2, 3.
Jen's hand or no, not Jen. Her Toyman. I don't know their name. South's hand has drastically improved from their high pie. They basically only drew useful tiles, and now they have a lot of tile acceptance for 1 Shanten.
There's the 3 mon for Caden, and he's gonna be confirming that Sanshoku shots. Open Ipeko does not exist, Alex. You don't have to go for it. Shifting
Going
towards
for Honey.
Honitsu for Alex. Caden's in Tenpai waiting on the Sanzo.
Open
Sanshoku, Dora 1.
Sanshoku. Yep.
Alex is discarding the completed 6-7-8 Pinzu shape and has gotta try to force the value into that hand. Upgrading it.
When other people see the Tadashi 876, they will probably start to wonder, why is this person discarding a complete Pinzu shape?
Well, the
And
6
maybe
pin
the
hasn't come up quite
Honitsu,
yet.
yeah, but maybe the Honitsu bells will start ringing.
If you're not paying attention to Tadashi, then that 2 mon early discard serves as a little bit of decent camouflage. However,
Yep.
if you are paying attention to Tadashi, then it's the situation that you've said.
Jen also going for her own Honitsu, or Honitsu to Dora, or North to Dora. They're worth the same. So it
Jen
depends on what tile you draw.
Jen passed up a call on the 6 pin that would have been Tenpai waiting on either the 1 mon or the Red Dragon. I guess it would have had to involve her discarding the Dora 1 mon. Well, anyways, Tenpai for Alex waiting on the 4-7 mon. Much more valuable hand this time around with that 2 Han Honitsu bump.
Yep.
This is
Er,
Tenpai for Daniel. Ricci waiting on the 1-4 so. Forso would be Tanyao on top of the Pinfu.
Yep.
Oh, and discards the 3 so to deal into Caden's open Sanshoku Dora 1. Dealer boost 2900 goes from Daniel to Caden. Caden making a push for 50,000 before we even cross into the South round. Who can stop Caden at this point? Just overflowing with the decent hands and the good luck.
And when you have a
Man,
potential 39, you just gotta reachy those in Armel. Unfortunately, the meme 3-so comes out and it deals into the Penchant.
keeping track of the Colts for those of you who are following, that's 1 hit so far for Sanzo, but the 1 attempt for Big Chanta today missed. So take that information and use it as you may. Daniel's has cleared out all the terminals and honors. Really easy run for Tan Yao.
This is an interesting decision. Cuts the Kanchan.
That ends up
Yeah.
keeping Rionman shapes of the 6-7, haha. The 2-3 so and the 6-7 so. I respect that play.
Yeah, it keeps the 1-4 so options, and the Kanchan definitely becomes your worst shape, so I respect it.
Going back to Daniel's hand, maybe this is just my conservative low-call playstyle, but whenever I see a Tanyao possibility in my hand early, I don't particularly like opening it up. I like to keep it closed and then tack Ricci onto that Tanyao to blast a little bit more value into the hand. What do you think about that?
Um, it really depends on, like, your hand's prospects. If you can call into Tenpai, really early, it might be like, if you have a Kanchan and calling the Kanchan will get you, like, a early row 1 Tenpai, I might be tempted to take it, but if your Tanyao is a Yamen Yamen Tanyao, where your weights are really good, I would probably want to wait for the extra value.
Caden is cutting
Daniel
away from that
here
2-2-2-3 shape.
drawing the 8-so, which, now allows him to con.
Caden drawing the 8-so, cuts away that 3-so, now has the option to call a con with the 2-sos. Ricci by Jen, waiting on the 8-mon 6-pin. 8-mon is a little decent Shanpon weight, but I'm not particularly feeling this one. Maybe there's a Suji trap with the 8-mon. Maybe Jen draws the tile herself. This is Tenpai for Caden. Gonna Con Ricci, waiting on the Dora indicators, 5-mon, 8-mon.
Con Insta Ricci is a
And
classic.
Caden takes the Patsu, Ricci, Patsu, Dora, any Uras? No Uras hit, but that is 9,600. That 50 Fu boost, and Caden is over 50,000 in East 4. This is Caden's game tonight, but we still have another half to play. Anything could happen. But Caden's gotta be feeling really good about his position right now.
Yep, the 5-mon discard from Jen really helped, Caden winning on that, because when you don't really have safe tiles, you just gotta pick one.
Now we're just cycling out some of the early garbage. There's a pair of green dragons that falls into Daniel's hand. Early call by Alex of the West. Jen has a pair of the Dora in her hand.
Looks like Alex is going for Big Chanta.
Another big Chanta shot? Yes, what? Ooh. I mean, the Kanchan's a little bit tough. You do have two pairs you can call with, however, to get a quick 10 pi.
Yeah, the 4-so 5-pin discards might look a bit sus, but if there's an extra 8p, like, I'm pretty sure people will throw it until it gets late.
Yeah, that 5 pin lays down a little bit of a Suji trap. It's funny how the big Chanta thing started. I won a hand that was, what was it? Daisongen, and Ty, who's running the stream in the background right now, said, "Nice big Chanta." We had some conversations about Chanta, and then Korak comes in saying, "Don't believe Big Chanta's big lies." Why did it say Big Chanta's big lies? That wasn't a part of it.
Well,
Well,
there
here
we
we
go,
go.
Tenpai for Big Chanta.
Tenpai for Big Chanta waiting on the 8 pin. There's two copies in Jen and Daniel's hand, both playing very crucial roles in some of their shapes, so I don't think it comes out naturally, unless if they're pushed to fold and misread that 5 pin Suji.
I don't think the 8P is coming out
Oh, the
from
6P
either of
gets
them.
dropped, and Alex draws into Big Chanta. There it is. Chanta, 1 Han. Shao, another 1 Han. 501,000, including some Homba. Alex is very close to breaking even this game. After, once again, after dealing into 12,000 to start, just brick by brick, chipping it back. And Alex still has another dealership to play with. He looks like the best person to challenge Caden, if anybody, at this table.
Unfortunately, his high pie isn't looking so hot. His hand is looking like a cheat toy, and we know how excruciatingly painful those hands can be.
Chi Toy without any particular routes to escape from Chi Toy. On top of that, maybe if Alex can complete some Kanchan shapes, then they might find a discard away from Chi Toy that keeps them at 2 Shanten. Really tough to play Chi Toy without. It's really tough to play Chi Toy without walking back Shanten by accident.
Instant pawn on the green dragon by dealer, just advancing the hand, taking a cheap 1500, and you have a lot of tiles to get you to 10 pie. I guess 1 Shanten.
Jen's gonna cut away that 6 mon. As now we're just waiting for some tiles to get completed. There's a 1, 2, 3 fill-in for Alex. Gonna discard the 5 pin of that shape. Jen draws another pair. 3, 3 Monzu. Discards the 2 mon. There's another fill-in. 1, 2, 3 of the Sozu.
Yep, everyone's drawing the tiles that they want.
Love it when people get the tiles that they need.
Yep.
There's 2.
Alex's hand has improved significantly from Chitoy, although it's still Richinomi, so might not want to reach it when it's South Round and you aren't dealer. But we'll see what happens.
Disgusting 1, 2 penchant shape gets cut out of Caden's hand. Still has another 1, 2 to work with. Meanwhile, Jen has a 1, 2 Sozu up there.
Yep, you're keeping the 1-2 Mon shape because the 3 Mon is the Dora. Ideally, you want to build the value into your hand so you don't have to cut it.
Gotta cut out the 1 pin there, keeping the 1, 2 shape. Possible Ipeco for Daniel, except I just noticed the draw. Open Ipeco's not a thing. There's a whole chapter of Kurono Senba's 136. There's one whole tip that's just open Ipeco's not a thing, so don't feel obliged to go for it.
Yeah. Jen does have the early 6-0 cut, so there's another potential victory for the Cult of Sanzo, and she reaches, waiting on the Suji Trap 3-so.
Ricci waiting on the Sanzo. There's only 1 copy of it left in the wall. Maybe someone else is gonna put it down. Meanwhile, Ricci for 10 for Daniel waiting on the 2-5 pin. Not so much. Just taking a quick look around. Not so many 2s or 5s of pins left in the wall. Although it's a lot better than Jen only having 1 3-so in the wall.
Yeah, it looks like Hayden's just completely out of this hand, playing about the Norths.
I mean, that's not terrible, especially when you're leading. Draws the 1, 2, 3. Not quite 10 pie, and I don't think Caden's going to be playing for 10 pie here.
You can draw the 3-6P and then cut 6-0, and then just hope you Tsumo on the 3 or 4. Or go to Ryukyoku and collect your 1,500 points. I guess 1,000 points in this situation.
Seven discards left to go as
Torso draw. This tile feels bad to cut.
put it
Cuts it
down and it's
anyway.
fine.
When the tile pauses like that, you get really worried.
Caden's out of a pair, so I don't think that is Tenpai. I can't read. Sumo on the 2-pin, Hatsunomi, 500 all, 1 Han, and the dealer repeats with Daniel holding on to the dice.
Kaden was Tenpai. His pair was 3-so.
So much for me being the play-by-play guy, yet I can't even read the hands properly. Just something I gotta work on, it seems.
No, it's just hard to read. Especially because the tiles are sideways.
Fair. So what you're saying is, in order to practice, I gotta play Mahjong upside down.
Nah, not upside down. You play with your tiles 90 degrees rotated. So your hand is extra long.
Just play with the tiles pointing to the left and facing the player on my left. Like, hey, I'm practicing to get better at commentary, reading the tiles. Ty is saying stack your hand vertically.
Really good draws for our dealer here. Getting a shape that accepts the Dora.
Nice 1-2 penchant fill-in for Caden. Daniel's still looking for a pair around there. Potential pair in the 9-pin, but well, now you draw 7-pin, and that kind of takes the 9-pin out of pair running. It is, however, Ishan 10.
It's quite a good Ishan 10 as well. Your Tenpai tiles are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9-pin. So almost every Pinzu. You can also upgrade to Sanshoku if you draw the 2P.
Well, now the next challenge is got to be drawing any of the Pinzu.
Yep, luckily, there seem to be a lot of Pinzu still in the wall.
Draw the 6-pin. Throw down
It
the
is
stick.
Tenpai. Ricci on the Dora, your dealer, you're in last place. Gotta do it. I guess you could also
Ricci,
take the Pinfu, yeah.
Ricci waiting on the 6-9 pin. Are there any other weights that I'm missing out on?
No, looks just like 6-9.
And draws the 6-pin Sumo. Ricci, Patsu Sumo. That's 3 Han, Pinfu 4, Ura 2! 6,000 from everyone! Go for it when you're in last place at your dealer! Over 30,000 now, taking second place from Alex! 34,700 for Daniel! You said it, go for it when you're in last place in your dealer, and that's what Daniel did. What a good play. Oh, wow.
Yep, unfortunately, this hand starts out with 2 penchants, but maybe we can see if we upgrade around the 5-mon or the 6
Jen's already in Tenpai. Waiting on the 3-6-mon. Sorry, what were you saying?
Our dealer's hand is looking a bit rough. But yep, Jen is in Tenpai with Sha Dora 1 and also looking to upgrade it to Sanshoku with either a 6-so draw or a 3-pin draw.
There's a 7-pin draw. That's not going to move it towards Sanshoku, so Jen's taking a bit to think about this one. 7-pin drop. A lot of Tsumogiri from Jen lately. I don't know if it's enough to arouse anyone's suspicion, especially on row 1, but
I mean, Utsumagiri, a Hatsu, and then a One-So, that's pretty normal. And then you think a bit on the 7-pin, and Utsumagiri that, so, like, maybe people read that, there's something going on with Pinzu?
Kaden deals into Jen's quick hand, Shaw Dora 1. Jen, now the player who has to dig out of last place, wins a hand. Alex draws a triplet of the Wests, but that's not going to be a Yaku.
Anko of 9-mon as well. Could also go for Big Chanta.
Do we see another Big Chanta attempt? I mean, Big Chanta has hit once on stream, and that was probably the first time I've seen Big Chanta hit in, like, what, 2 months? Maybe a whole season? I do remember that one time Garth got Big Chanta, and that was the first time I announced it on stream.
No, but I think the plan here is to go for Ricci Dora or Ricci 2 Dora. And if Chanta comes, it's just an extra bonus.
Kaden has 5 pairs in that hand, no particular outs for getting out of Chi Toy, but you do like that green dragon, red dragon in hand. Draws a third 7-pin, so now drops the 7 and probably waiting on either the green dragon or red dragon. Could be
It's looking like
Yakumon.
a Suanko attempt.
Could be
Although
Yakumon. Swanky Swanko.
you probably let the first one through, but if there's a second tile you can call, you probably just take that one.
Everyone else is just trying to play their hands. Jen's looking pretty close. Maybe seeing that 5-6-6 shape threw me off a bit in terms of thinking it was close.
It's
It is
1/10.
Ishanten, actually.
Yeah.
It is Ishanten.
Looking at 4, 7, 6, 9 so, and 6, 9-mon.
Ricci by Alex waiting on the 5-8-mon.
I guess 4P is also Tenpai. If I was
This is
Jen, I
Tenpai
would
for
chase.
Jen. Is Jen gonna throw down the stick? Ricci waiting on the 6-9-mon. So now it's a battle of whose Monzu's gonna come out.
Unfortunately, it looks like all the 6, 9-mon are held.
And the 5-mon gets auto-dropped by Jen. Ron, Ricci, Dora, Ura, none. 4800 gets transferred from Jen to Alex. Alex getting a little bit closer to break even, and Jen falling into 4 digits. Take this moment to realize the immense luck factor that is in Mahjong. There is a good amount of skill, but occasionally you'll just get unlucky and end up in 4 digits. That's just how the game goes. Ultimately, you can log review afterwards and determine whether or not you might have made bad plays that led to that, but sometimes you play the best you can and you end up in the negatives. That's just how the game goes.
Yeah, and if you're Jen, when you Ricci and then you deal in and you see that the person you dealt into has 4 of your weights, you're like, I understand.
It's probably just a part of the mental growth of Mahjong, as well as when you play more games and get stunted by luck so many times. At some point, it just kind of numbs you. Like you've been through it so many times that
Yep.
it's just become a part of the game for when you play.
Jen not cutting the 7P, going for double Ipeco chats. I guess you are slightly more likely to get a better weight if you keep the 7p, but you could also think about the double E Payco chance that she just missed out on. I
One
guess
so is gonna
Pinfu with
drop.
Pinfu with 2 Dora is also the same value as Ipeko.
Jen still has a dealership yet, so I don't imagine we're pressing the panic button quite yet.
We're not panicking, but we still want to play this hand because it will boost our score by a decent amount,
リーチ
especially after this 5.2 Ricci.
Ricci by Jen waiting on the 7 so only. Only one 7 so left in the wall.
Yeah, it puts us closer in range to Alex, where if we get a Mangan Ron, we can probably pass Alex, and then Alex has to do something.
Oh,
It
what
takes
is
a
this
lot of pressure.
Ishanten by Daniel? How many tiles is that Daniel could wait for?
2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeet.
6, 7, 8 so, and 9 so.
Ricci waiting on the 5 pin only. There's no 5 pins anywhere to be seen. They're all in the wall somewhere. Unluckiest scenario would be all 3 of the 5 pins are waiting to become Dora indicators.
Yeah, I held off on saying 9 so because you really don't want the Tunky weight on a hand where the Ishan 10 is that wide.
Go.
5 pin comes out. Daniel takes it. Ricci, Dora, no Ura, 2600, but Jen continues giving out points like somebody giving out flyers outside a church. 4900. What can Jen do with her dealership in South 3? Who
Mantom Pen Sanchoku with a Dora is a
that is a
start.
really good starting hand by Jen. Potential comeback in the making. Don't call it a comeback quite yet.
And there are 2 different Sanchokus that Jen can go for here, 3-4-5 or 2-3-4. Obviously, you want the 2-3-4 because one more Dora is one less Han you need for Hanemon.
Jen immediately discards that green dragon, taking the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 San Men Chan. That's gonna be 10 pi for Alex.
リーチ
Throws down the stick, waiting on the 2 Mon White
No.
Dragon. Jen immediately trails the
Oh,
White
no.
Dragon!
That
And
is
Jen
so
can't stop giving
unfortunate.
away the gifts! Richi Patsu Haku 5200. Jen falls into the negatives! And she doesn't have a dealership left!
Yeah, nothing you can do there. You have to push your hand, and Haku is usually safe, but it deals in.
Armor champion Korak in the stream chat saying, "Ouch."
Jen is trying to figure out how to salvage her position, but it's most
Gotta-
likely just going to be Ricci Pinfu Dora and just play for the long-term position.
That's what it's gotta be, because you are probably crying if this is a ladder game. This is long-term league, however. You can just you can just continue playing a positive expected value, and sure you take a loss early on, but my
If
brain is
this was
farting right
ladder,
now.
you would have already cried because you're in the negative. Game is over, but not normal.
Triplet of Green Dragons draw for Alex. What's going to be the cutaway here? The 4 Mon keeping themselves in 6-shape territory.
It's Chi Toy Ishan 10. If they get another Anko, they can move for Toy Toy or Suanko.
East comes out. Possible Itsu chance for Daniel. Jen has got to cut away from that 1-2 Pinzu shape.
I think it's really hard for Daniel to go for Itsu here. You draw the 5P, so you probably just go towards Tanya.
Daniel's really thinking about this one. 5P comes out.
Ah, he disconnected.
Unfortunate position to disconnect from, especially when you're probably one of the best challengers to Caden. Well, Alex can also challenge Caden. Caden's probably walking away in first, though. Unless if Alex pulls off a big hand. Could be a big hand here. Maybe if you draw one of those Ankos and you have a chance at San Anko.
Yeah, it takes the pawn though, just going for Toy Toy.
Toy Toy with Hatsu at the least.
Yep, it's 5,200, and that will put him second.
Daniel's cutting away from that 8-9 Penchon shape.
Yep, going towards Tanyao. It's going to be really disappointed when he realized he dropped the 5P when he was disconnected.
Well, there's another 5P drop. Draws the 7 Mon after cutting that 8-9 shape out. You hate to see it.
You do, but your hand is also in position for Riichi Tanyao, or if you get lucky and draw the 5-so, you also get Pinfu. So if you Tsumo plus 1 Ura, that is enough to get second.
Going around discarding while nobody's in Tenpai. Sometimes that just kind of happens in the game.
Looks like Caden is just folding out, wants to end the game as first, just throwing out the safe tiles that were cut during the previous turn.
That is perfect Ishanten for Daniel now. Only has about 3 draws left to make it happen, however. Could also just take the call and take an easy Tenpai. Alex is going for Toy Toy, but it's getting really hard to make it happen.
I think you want to take the Tenpai because it looks like Alex is pushing. Although, if Alex is the only one Tenpai, he can't overtake.
That is Tenpai, not in position to reach you, but a really good way 2-5-8 so. With 2 draws left to make it happen, Alex draws the 2 so. Could combine that with the 1 so, but I think this is it. 1 so comes out instead! 9 Mon drops. Caden. And it's gonna end with Daniel being the only one in Tenpai in South 4. That last decision there between dropping the 1 so or the 2 so could have made a huge difference in this game, but Daniel ends up just taking 3,000 points to finish it off. Caden, big win, plus 31.7. Everyone gaining points except for Jen, who is going to take a 51.3 point drop.
Those last discards before Ryukyoku, some people think they're not that important, But, if you're not going to be able to get Tempai, you might as well think about what your safest tile is and drop that one instead.
So now we'll wait to see when the scores are updated. Jen is gonna go from 11th to around 21st, 22nd range. That's gotta sting, but you still have so many games left to play.
That's
Caden's
not
gonna
the end
take
of the
a
world.
decent sized boost from this.
Caden should be around the even mark, like -6 or so, I believe. Oh wait, no, Caden was first, so he should be +20 or +25.
As we're staring at a standings board that is frozen in time from a few seconds ago before the game last ended. Just give it a little bit.
The bot is trying to parse the game.
The bot's trying to parse the game. Absolute insane game. I have had like a few weird glitches happen occasionally where a game doesn't um a game doesn't quite show up correctly on mobile, and there's a lot of weird symbols that just kind of appear. Well, from hear me out, Will. We go from I thought it was Garth playing, actually. That Garth's game isn't quite yet. Garth's game is at the next hour, right? It starts in the next hour.
Uh, I think they started playing.
I'm just checking the
They
board.
are scheduled for the top of the hour.
So,
at
hear
least
me out, Will. We go from one JPML Pros table to another JPML Pros table. How does that sound?
Sounds good. We can see if our other JPML Pro is having the same terrible luck that Jen got this game.
Yeah. We'll we'll take a we're gonna take a quick break to prepare the A2 table. Stay with us. You are watching American Reaching Wednesday. Beautiful night tonight.
Cold night tonight.
all right, y'all. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. So, just a quick break there while we got some things set up. As you can see, we are hopping back in to A2. We got Ari starting off at first dealer with Kenyon off to the right, Max across the way, and Garth over to the left. I'm going to hand it back to our wonderful commentators as we are expecting the games to start in just a couple minutes. Y'all have fun.
Give me a sec, I need to sit back down. That is well, first off, I want to say that is a total troll job by Garth to have not played any rank games and keep the ranking at new person. I
That is
respect that.
crazy.
I respect
Yeah.
that. Meanwhile, on the
Yeah.
opposite end, you've got Max, who is 8 Don with a 2195 R rating.
Yep, just goes to show you cannot trust the Tenho statistics of the player names that you are playing against.
I
You
know
might
a
have a crazy pro that is masquerading as a newbie.
I might I know a lot of good Tenho players, or maybe not necessarily Tenho players, Mahjong players who have given up on Tenho ladder and left their account maybe at around 2 Dawn, 3 Dawn. By all means, they're really good players, but their Tenho ranking wouldn't necessarily reflect that. I also know there's a little bit of a sentiment against playing ladder so much, especially after you've played like league format or tournament formats.
It's definitely a different kind of game. Your goals are slightly different because on ladder, you're just playing to not get fourth. So sometimes you will just sack a lot of hands that don't really have good potential and have really huge downsides. But in Armel, you might go for those hands because, you know, it might be very likely that you get points because you have a really early Ricci with a good weight.
There's a really good point made by Will in the Armel chat. The cut line being plus 88 right now. Ty and I and Will were talking about it during the break. Sometimes you got players who go on an absolute bender in the first session. Carl with plus 147 right now, 5 first places and 1 second place, but it's a short period. The variance has yet to kick in so much, but dang, that's still quite the cut line. Plus 88 after what, a week and a half of a session and a half of play.
Yeah, if everyone keeps going on the same types of runs that they've been going on, the cutoffs could get pretty crazy, but more often than not, we'll see some people in the top take a few fourths just because that's how RNG games work. You can't win them all.
And we're just waiting for them to ring the gong and start this game.
I wouldn't say if I was in a top position, I would try to play more conservatively. I would still try to play, normal mahjong and just hope that my luck isn't in the absolute gutter. Like I had my streak of good luck and then I just want normal luck to carry me forward. Uh-oh.
Oh no. That's going on live stream fails, Ty. I hope you know that. I was starting to wonder why the game wasn't starting, and then, I mean, because we were a minute past. Oh, 2 Richies already! No, we just started! How
Yep.
did we miss that much
Kenyon with
already?
the con into early Ricci waiting on an honor tile.
What happened to these first few discards? What? Okay, so just like that, we got We already got Ari and Kenyon battling Richi's. Ari waiting for the 5 so only. Kenyon waiting on the 5 Mon Hatsu.
Turn 2 Richi waiting on Hatsu is crazy.
Oh, we might
They
get
are
Garth
both
jumping
in
in the
the
pool
wall.
sometime soon. There's a
Yeah.
Hatsu. Not gonna cut it quite yet. And who was gonna benefit from the Ura bomb this time? Katsu comes
Hatsu
out,
comes
deals
out.
into Kenyon. Richi, Hatsu. Only 4! What?
Holy.
12,000! Garth, are you ready to pull an Alex tonight? Looks like the JPMO offices are giving out gifts tonight.
I think we've had it happen twice now, where you have a random Dora forehand that someone deals into for 12k in East 1.
Well, as I was saying earlier, it's still early in the game. Garth can still come out above 30,000. The question is Garth just gotta have better luck than Jen? Korek says my mic got cut off, otherwise it might have been a great clip. Clip it anyways, Korek.
Kenyon here with, I guess, what looks to be like a Richi Nomi hand, unless she wants to cut the Souths, in which case it might be Richi Tanyao or Richi Pinfu. And she does indeed cut the South.
Putting out the Souths there. Might see a Haku drop. It gonna be the 1 pin instead. Five, six, seven gets completed in Kenyon's hands. Jen being the JPML pro in here, it's also being mentioned that Kenyon is a Psychoisin Pro Mahjong pro.
8P
Kenyon
comes out. Will she call it? She does.
called by Kenyon drops the 5. So that's gonna be perfect Ishanten. Not really a lot on this hand though.
Yeah, just calling for the Tanya, your dealer, get your Renchan, get your 1500 points, and see what happens in the next hand.
Tenpai waiting on 3-6 Mon. Garth has an opportunity to con. Con's
He
there.
does con, could Richi.
Reveals the 1 so as a Dora. Dama waiting on the 5 Mon 4 pin. There's a pair of Dora 1 so in Ari's hand. Excuse me while I get familiar with all the names yet.
I think he was waiting to see if he could upgrade the hand into a shape that accepts the Dora, but he waited one turn, didn't get anything, and hit the Richi button.
Richi waiting on the 5 Mon 4 pin. That's going to be Tanya on top of the Richi.
Who knows?
As Kenyon is just waiting for one of the 3 or 6 Mons to come out.
Kenyon hit Ura 4. Garth can also hit Ura 4. Does not happen though. As Kenyon
Draws
survives
it.
the 3 Mon.
Tanya. Why don't you clip that, Korek? We're always clipping these 6 Han, 8 Han Biomon hands. Why don't we ever do any 1 Han clips of like people getting
starting with
open
Dora 2.
Tanya? Pair of the 1 Mon Dora.
Double E's, Dora 2, that's 12k, baby.
Go for it. Call. Pick up the phone. Nice penchant fill by Max. How do we go this deep into the hand without talking about Max's hand
Fantastic
yet?
upgrade. Max looking for Sanshoku. It's a bit of a sad Sanshoku.
What
You
is
can
this
call
shape in
for
Ari's hand? 1-2 penchant maybe? 4-4-5-6-6-7-7?
it's Ipeiko Kanchan waiting on the 5-mon, and then a 1-2 Penchon for your Dora.
Thank you for reading that out for me. There's a completion of the 6-7-8 shape. Might be a throwdown of the stick for Kenyon. Ricci, very good Shanpon waiting on the 1-mon east. Garth gets a triplet of the north. Gotta cut out the 8-pin.
Max just sumoing the Dama Sanshoku.
3 Han. 4,000 points get moved over. Well, a little bit more than 4,000. And we're to East 3. Max as the dealer, and that's a pretty decent starting hand if I ever saw one. Could also work in something with that 2-pin Dora.
Yep. Very flexible hand. You can make a lot of shapes, but unfortunately, a lot of the shapes that you get in Manzu are kind of bad. So ideally, you're hoping to draw something around the Dora here. The 7P is good because now you get the 2-4 Kanchan, and now your Ishan 10.
It is still early in the round. If you draw another pair, would you break out that 1-1 shape? Well, now this makes it a
Well,
little bit
I
tougher.
guess you just Ricci.
Ricci waiting on the 3-pin only. There's only one 3-pin left in the wall. Although it could drop depending on how Kenyon draws the hand.
You just gotta do it. Your only upgrade is like drawing 2P here. And your dealer, so you get to scare everyone into folding.
I do play a particularly safe playstyle where most of the time when a Ricci comes out, I fold. Probably some of it is my inability to actually read hands and make decent educated guesses based on the discards.
It looks like Kenyon isn't too interested in folding just yet.
I did see a breakup in Ari's hand, breaking away from the 1-2-3-4 shape. That's probably a fold if I ever saw one.
On the 3-cell, yeah, you probably fold on that tile. You can't let the cultists have their victory.
Well, there's the last 3-pin, and now the weight is dead, waiting for someone to drop it inadvertently.
There's no way this 3P comes out. I do not see a world where 3P comes out.
2-3 shape. Drops the 1. That is Ishanten. 3 pins acting as the pair, and then you also have 3-4-5-6-7 San Men-chan.
Yep, it's 2-5-8-4-7P weight.
Nice read. Pair of the green dragons in Ari's hand, but that hand logged off a long time ago. Now into single-digit tiles left in the wall.
Yeah, at this point,
A late call by Garth.
Garth is just trying to get into Tenpai, I think.
That
Kenyon
hand
does
lights
cut
up.
the Hatsu.
258 pin. Are there any more weights? There's also this. There's also the 7 pin and the 4 pin. This is a 5-sided weight for Kenyon. That's not gonna hit. Wow, exciting game, Mahjong.
Garth could have cut the 8 pin, but he chose correctly and cut the 7 so. Because the 4 so Suji came out the turn before. Dodging Kenyon's weight.
Kenyon's gonna start off by drawing a triplet of the 1 Sozu. Max is gonna have 4 pairs in that hand. Pretty decent way to work that out of Cheetoy. Don't necessarily have to force it quite yet.
Kenyon's hand is looking pretty good. You have 2 Ryamens, you have a Kanchan around the Dora. So you pair something up, you fill a Ryamen, you're looking pretty happy.
Garth is holding on to that east for a little bit. Pair of the north into Kenyon's hands. Now, Ishanten either filling in the Kanchan or getting something around the 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. That's 10 pi. Do you take this weight? No. So many
you can
upgrades you
Dama
can get
this.
around that 4-6 pin.
Yeah, you can Dama this. And if you Sumo, you get the extra fu because pay is your wind. Well, you also get the extra fu because you Sumo a Kanchan with a terminal Anko, but if you reach it, you would have gotten the extra fu.
Ari draws a triplet of the
Oh.
8-pin Dora. Pawn call by Max, making a route towards Honitsu. A few turns ago, Kenyon shifted over the 4-6 Kanchan to a 2-4 pin Kanchan, but didn't throw the stick down.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to Dama. Your point leader and your weight's not so good, so there's no real reason to fight when there's a scary dealer Honitsu on the board.
It's also a Damo by Garth waiting on the 7, so
Reach
not quite Tanyao. That 1 mona's kind of screwing everything over. Well, Ricci by Garth actually waiting on the 7, so.
Yep.
There's the 7, so not gonna come out. When a JPML Pro throws down the Ricci stick, is there a little bit more fear in continuing to play the hand?
Personally, when I play against a JPML Pro, it's business as usual. Like
That's how you gotta
you
treat it
never
mentally,
know.
right? More that mental game of Mahjong.
It can always just be a bad weight Ricci just to scare you off.
Which in this case, it kind of is 7,
Yeah,
so.
like he's in 4th place, which means he's like more inclined to just Ricci anything. If he was reaching from like the 2nd or 1st position, then I would be scared.
Max is holding on to those 7 Sozu. Gonna hold on to the 9 as well. Last 7 Sozu comes out, and Ari's not gonna put it down. Call to get into Tenpai for Kenyon. What is the safe play here?
What
All of them are safe,
Tenpai
but I
do
think
you
Kenyon's
take?
just trying to be a little bit more cautious. And there's a high take chance for Kenyon. Not gonna hit it this time. And that's Ryukyoku, Garth, and Kenyon takes some points, and we progress the game to Honba to Ricci sticks East 4, and Garth is your dealer. Garth starting off with a pair of double Easts. Ooh. And
Killing
completes the
the
penchant shape right
7th.
away as well. This hand is moving fast for Garth.
Yep, you have Dora possibility as well. Although, yeah, you're looking to draw a 2P here and then go for double East +1 Dora. That's like your mental game plan.
Obviously, you can start off a little bit ambitious in the first row of discards, but when you get down to the second or third, you kind of have to start thinking realistically a bit more. But it's early in the hand. You can dream a bit.
Yeah, if you draw something like 3-so, then you are really sad.
Sad or set?
Sad.
Ah.
Because it means you either call the East and you're waiting on a Tonki, or you don't get the Dora.
Dama Tenpai by Max waiting on a Rionman and a half, 1-4 Mon. Call by Garth to confirm the double Easts. Is Max doing the good old way to turn Ricci?
Well, I
Max
guess
draws
that's
it
sumo.
anyways. Just sumo. Sumo no me. 400, 700. Game continues into South 1. Ari's gonna be your dealer.
This hand is looking a bit rough. You have a Kanchan, you have overlapping weights, and then you also have 4 honors. It's gonna be a while before things start shaping up. Drawing a Dora is nice, though.
Drawing a door at 8-pin. Still 3 8-pins floating around somewhere. As now we're just cycling garbage.
Korak in the chat just disagreeing with Max. Korak is always just Ricci.
Korak is the greatest threat to Damaten Marshall. I mean, Korak can basically say whatever Korak wants to say now. He's the Armor champion. Took him quite a while, many seasons in the league, but just got his first seasonal championship in the fall, and then got his first annual championship just this past Sunday. Congratulations to Korak.
Kenyon looking for Itsu Dora here.
Could call the 3 Mon here, lock it in, takes out the Dora chance and instead gonna wait for 1-pin, 9-pin, Itsu no me.
Your point later might as well just take the weight that's more likely to come out.
Seven Mon draw. So now we're just watching discards come out.
Yeah, people's hands are not really moving forward.
There's a 1-pin draw by Garth. That's going to fit in nicely with that Pinzu shape, so I doubt it's going to come out that way. Max could potentially drop the 9-pin depending on how that shape fills. Garth puts down the 1-pin? Itsu no me. I feel like this Han-chan, we're just displaying all the different ways you could get one Han. We saw Tsumo no me, and now we see Itsu no me.
Like, Kenyon's hand is pretty crazy.
If you draw the 9-so... If you draw the 9-so, just think about it for a bit. Well, there it is!
She gets
Is it Doko? Doko?
There's San Shokudoko chance. There's Honroto Chitoi chance.
Triples of the 9 month.
Surely you cut 6-mon here.
Oh, let's go, Kenyon. Let's go, Kenyon. Show these one-on players what a real mahjong hand looks like.
Don't let your dreams become memes, my friends. One 9-so in the discard pool by Garth is a bit sad
All
to
that.
see.
Yes. And keeping the 9-so in hand. Meanwhile, Garth is entering into Ishanten. Just needs to fill in somewhere. Pawn north. What is the drop gun? Ah, 9-so.
Yeah, you probably just cut it because it's once cut. And it doesn't give you a Yaku.
Another pawn. Waiting on the south. This is all terminals and honors. Can't remember the last time I saw that, Yaku. Richie, Garth is gonna try to play spoiler, waiting on the 7-pin, 8-pin.
The 9-so would have been a Tsumo. But you never know.
There's a 7-pin draw that's gonna fall into the hand, so now Garth's weight is dead, relying on Ari and Max to do it. A shift away from terminals and honors.
Does not jam the South or the 5-mon.
Hand gonna fall down to East Toy. Probably.
I think in Armal, it's probably you can probably jam the 5-mon and claim you can do it because value.
This is A2, so like the quality of play is so much higher. If there's like meme Yaku's going around, then you just like ignore the meme Yaku and put it aside. But man, if this was C League, we would have been seeing the chance for like Doko Honroto. full push for that, but I get it. You gotta play for positive efficiency, play your position. I mean, play for positive EV. I get it. As that 5-mon looks pretty dead, and where's
Well
Khan?
then.
Khan? I don't think you Khan here.
No, you don't con this.
This is not a Khan opportunity. No content today. Five-pin drops. We're down to 4 discards left. That is 10 pi. Waiting on the 7-pin 8-so for Ari. So 3 players and 10 pi, and Max would have to pay out. Deals into Ari, Tanya, Dora 2. Ari with the late 10 pi, while Kenyon and Garth were waiting along for their dead weights. Ari just sneaks a quick 10 pi in and wins off of it.
Looks
Now
like
we move
our
into South 3.
JPML pros are not having a good day today.
Check the JPML Pro's bank account. It's in the negatives.
Well, Max has another hand that might go for Big Chanta. Especially since there's no real Yaku yet, other than Chanta, and he has 2 Dora.
Garth has the proprietary shapes for Big Chanta. If you want to cut away that 6-7 shape, gotta go for it. Actually, Garth going for Big Chanta. The first person I remember going for Big Chanta when I started commentating is going for it again.
Everyone's
There's
going
the
for
7-8
Big
draw for
Chanta.
draw as Garth hits the 3-pin Penchon fill. Now Ishanten for Big Chanta. Could also call the Norths or the White Dragon.
I don't think he's getting the North, but he will probably get the Haku from Max.
Home.
Call of the Green Dragons by Kinyan.
Home.
Garth will call the Haku any day, now waiting on the door indicator. There's one 8-so left in the wall somewhere.
I think if you're any of the other players, you can probably read this as a Chanta play.
Yeah, the discards make it fairly obvious. No terminals. Discards.
Chi.
That's a chi by Max. So, would you cut out the 7-8 Montu shape and guarantee Chanta? At this point, you kind of have to because you opened up the hands.
I think if he gets an opportunity to call 9-mon, you definitely would. But if you draw anything else, you would probably just want to confirm your Yaku
Reach.
and cut 7-8-mon, especially because 7-mon is safe.
Ricci
And
by Ari waiting on
you
the
don't really-
5-8 pin. There's a call. Now Tenpai waiting on the 8-mon Forso. 3 players in Tenpai, and Max is looking like the odd one out here.
This one,
Home.
this is hard.
Call. Drops the Norths. Are we going to see Max dance around the fire?
I guess he cut the 2-so because it's one chance. And
Indian
everything
breaks
else
away from
just
Tenpai.
feels really bad.
Honestly, if you're Max, then this is a very respectable second play, so you don't especially have to play into this hand. You could just let your dealership pass, probably.
Home.
8-pin comes out and deals into Ari. JPML giving out presents. Ricci pin Fudora. Ura hits. 8,000 gets transferred. Garth is in the negatives as well. Oh, what a night for the pros.
Someone check their PayPal
Home.
accounts. Something is going on.
No. You know
Home.
when a random stranger requests your last dollar on Venmo, you don't have to give it to them, right?
Well,
Huff.
Garth instant calls this east. He needs to make something happen. Luckily for him, his hand is 1 Shanten, albeit the shapes are kind of bad.
Gotta hope that Garth and Jen aren't watching how I commentate this game. Otherwise, I'm not getting a invite to barbecue in Japan anytime soon. I gotta imagine if you're Garth, you just try to win any hand, right?
Yeah, you'll call for any Tempai here, but ideally you'll want to draw something around the 7-mon just so that you can have a Jamin shape going into Tempai.
Four six so, oh, 4-6 so, draw by Kinyan. Gotta cut away the 4-6 so. That's probably what I was thinking about
Yeet.
doing.
Probably
Ricci by
thinking
Max
about
waiting
Chi.
on
tile
the
ex-
4-mon only. That's a call by Garth. Now Garth is in Tenpai waiting on the 6 pin. So it's 4-so versus 6 pin. Only one 4-so left in the wall. Garth has got to draw the 6 pin himself. Ton Nomi, keep the game going. Garth getting up into the positive, albeit 3-digit positive. The game continues. And this is another decently playable hand for Garth.
Yep, looks like Tanya with Adora. Drawing a Jamin on your second draw is always nice to see. Looks like Max's hand is Not looking too hot. Already
Sorry, I felt a
seems
sneeze
like
coming on, and I thought I was gonna sneeze. We have the chat kind of talking about the high number of professional mahjong players that are outside of the A1 division. It is kind of an interesting thing to think about with how mahjong is kind of like that. Will, are you able to fill in more about this?
I am not in the upper division, so I cannot really comment, but I do play in World Ricci League, and we are building our own set of American pros.
Hmm. Discard of the 3 so there.
Just taking a wide weight with Dora acceptance here. And there we go.
Tenpai by Garth waiting on the Dora. Who wants to put it down?
Definitely not Ari, as she would like the Dora.
West pair of West has got to come out of Ari's hand.
At this point, you just don't want to feed the dealer any points.
Because the more points that the 4th finishes down, is that more points for yourself?
No, in this situation, because Armel plays with floating Uma, Garth is going to be eating a -20 if nobody else drops below 30,000. As soon as someone else drops below 30,000, they are giving Garth 5 free points. And whoever drops below is also losing 5 free points on top of whatever points they lost to the dealer.
That's gotta be a shift to the Rion men, but that 7 pin is totally dead, with some of them even being in Garth's hand in that open section.
Yeah, it's the same weight, but you will take the 7 pin if it comes out. Just one extra tile.
Is Garth gonna pull it from the wall again? He is in good position to extend the game if he wishes. I don't... Is there anyone else here trying to make a push for Tenpai to end the game?
I think Max will probably go for K10 if it's safe.
Tenpai for Kenyan, waiting on the 4-7 Mon.
Right now, anything near the 5 Mon is looking real sus. Or the 5P, not the 5 Mon. What am I saying?
If Kenyan wins the hand, then the game ends and Garth is just going to settle for 3 digits.
They're thinking really hard about this 4-so.
Last discard, Hatsu's gonna drop very easily. Kenyan takes a little bit off of what Garth would have gained from Ryukyoku, but it's still a 1,500 point gain. Garth now has 2 Ricci sticks, and we're into Honba 2. Push, push, push.
He saved himself from negative points, which is always nice to see.
I guess this also applies to ladder play. Don't give up.
Yeah, this hand is also super playable for Tanya, for Garth. You probably really want to call these now that you have Sanshoku chance as well, just to speed up your hand and go for the points.
I do remember listening to Korek's interview after winning the Armel Championship, and I think Korek said something along the lines of, most everyone knows what to do when you have a good hand, but what differentiates the decent players from the great players is what do you do with the hands that look absolutely horrendous? Or I guess bad hands in general.
Yeah. Well, looks like the hand is no longer Sanchoku now that he draws the 5-so.
We do have Ari going for a 1-2-3 Sanshoku, however. Oh, this is such a wide hand for Garth. It's it's almost certainly Tanyo, and you can make so many different calls to progress the hands.
Yeah. As Garth, you probably just call anything here. Build up the Renchans, build up the points. Great draw.
2 pairs Ishan, Garth. Gonna need 2 5-mon, 4-mon, 3-pin, 2-so.
Would really like to chi the 3-pin here, but unfortunately, Max won't give it to him because it fills his own kanchan.
2, 3, 4 Kanchan. Gonna cut away the 1-pins. That's 10 pie for Garth. Not gonna throw down the stick. Waiting on the 3-pin. There's 2 3-pins left in the wall.
And Garth can also upgrade to Ipeko here by drawing the 5 or 6-pin. If he draws the 6-pin, I imagine we would see a Richi.
There's also an argument to insta-Richi here because you're dealer deep in last. 3-pin comes out and Garth is gonna take the Dama win. Tanya Nomi, 2600. Is that Dama or is that Richi? What do you think?
I think you can play it either way. Because there's upgrade potential for Ipeko, I would personally not Richi. But if there were no value upgrades, I would just take the Richi.
Well, Garth is absolutely drawing the good tiles now on the last dealership. This is another pretty good looking hand. Gonna force the Tanya meme again.
Yeah, so he cuts the Kanchan, looking to build a Diamen, probably with the 4, 5, 6, 7 so.
Oh, Ty's highlighting what tile to discard. Discards the 2-pin instead of the 7-mon. Nice try at guessing, Ty. Try again next time on The Price is Right.
I guess he was just looking for confirmed Tanya, so he can call anything here.
It feels like everyone else's hand has become sludge while Garth is taking 10 pie with the 3-pin 4-so. 1 4-so left.
This is a 100% Dama.
100% you say.
Yeah. You have so many Yamen upgrades in the Sozu.
And also in the Pinzu, maybe?
Yeah, well, if you draw something like...
Well, if you draw the 4-pin, then you're kind of screwed there because
very
2-pin is
sad.
for 10.
I would still Richi, but I also do not play optimally.
Like, heck, I play optimally either.
Richi.
Triplet of East, and Ari's gonna throw down the stick, waiting on the 6-9-mon. For Garth, do you Richi now that you see someone else throw down the stick?
I think you still have a lot of upgrades. So you
Ari's in Verten! No, never mind. I misread that. Get me out of the booth!
It's Kenyan, who is Atazuke on the 4-so for Tanyo. She cannot win on the 1-so. Well, Garth draws the 4P. I would just slam this.
Verten, wait on the 2-5-8. Garth does have a pretty good chance of drawing this, and everyone else is gonna fold. Except for Ari, who he deals into Richi or 3! What? And Garth finishes negative anyways!
Oh
Despite
no.
that long dealership hold on for South 4 is gonna finish in the negatives anyways!
All that work just to get bankrupt again. That feels so bad.
We're seeing mirror of the last game. Everyone except for the JPML Pro gets points.
Yeah, and
Kenyon
because
first.
everyone else is above 30k, Garth's Uma is minus 20. Losing an extra 5 points does hurt.
That is gonna sting. I think we have a moment, a moment maybe to look at the standings board. Oh, so Garth is gonna float down to 18th. Ari gets a little bit away from the demotion line. Max in 14th. Kenyon's gonna move the cut line up to plus 120. So we went from plus 88 being the cut line to plus 120, just making A2 look really scary to start off with. But again, like, it's early, you can still do some things.
Yep. Definitely just keep on playing normal Mahjong for now, and once, you know, you have 10 games left, that's when you start looking at the charts and seeing how exactly you need to be playing in the future games.
Let's switch it back to that game that's gonna start in a few moments. As, oh man, I need a drink of water. My voice is getting hoarse, but I don't have time to get water. I'm not a champion. I don't need water. We're gonna see Will cycle out here. Thank you for doing commentary, getting the rust off, and sharing this time in the booth, Will.
Yep, glad to be here. I will try to do more commentary in the future as well.
Okay, so it's gonna be just me in the booth for a little bit as Ross sets up. As welcome to Armel Radio. Let's put the game on, Ty. Oh, I forgot. I forgot about that. Oops. I'm so sorry,
I
Ty.
can be included. Let me get.
Does this negate the dinner you owe me from broadcasting Armel Championships?
I think I can forgive you this one time.
Thank you, Ty.
All right, let's go get it swapped over here. Go ahead and go ahead and get us started here, and I will help us keep an eye. You can keep an eye on while I get the page updated.
Okay, so we have the snake starting in the dealer seat. To the right of the snake is Shilpio, and across the way is Garty, our favorite new Tenho player, and to the left side is Yuki Tora. So in turn order, that's gonna be Ari, Max, Garth, Kenyon. Ari's already Shanten just needs to draw something around the 3-4 Rionman and the 6-8 Kanchan. Gotta switch over to a 3-5 pin Kanchan. I think that gives a couple more ways to draw and use that 6-pin Dora. Call by Max. Just try to get out a quick hand. Green Dragon Nomi, probably.
Yeah, look.
That's
Yeah,
a call by Kenyon, actually, not quite Max.
yep. Keaton's definitely looking to just go ahead and move this hand along. Whereas it does look like, ooh, that's a nice shift there. Ari's probably fishing for the Sanshoku for sure. Would probably just go ahead and take the Ricci either way though, or the 6-pin draw, of course, for just the Dora.
One so is gonna drop. 8 mon, not quite. That's going to be a completion of the 3-4-5 Monzu shape, so you can drop the 7 Mon. 10 no, Ishanten for... Is that Ishanten for Garth? It's a really weird looking Ishanten, though.
Yeah, I think so.
10 Pi.
Just in time. It looks like Ross has joined us. Ross, thank you for coming in.
Thank y'all for having me as always. Let's see what kind of action we're working with today.
Just in time for Sumogiri Ricci. Y'all take it away.
Ricci by Garth waiting on the 3-6, so...
Ooh, and I don't see Max dropping a single deal-in tile. And then I don't like this. I don't like this card. Wait, never mind. Sumo's enough.
Hatsu no Mi set the tone by winning a 1-hon hand on the first hand. 32,100 points for Kenyan. And we move along to East 2. We got backseat Max at the dealer. Pair of red dragons for Ari.
Oh, Ari. I'm not even reading half of these names. I know so many of them. Oh my gosh. I love like Max's shape right now. I would possibly even be thinking about forcing Chinitsu, to be honest. I know it's off Dora, but all things considered, Dora is being held by Garth, so not very much you could do with it anyways. So
Ari makes a call of the red dragons and is also going to try to force that 1-2-3 Sanchok.
Yep.
You have Garth with a pair of the Doras and also a pair of the South that could be called.
Had to drop that 5-pin. Obviously, wouldn't call it. And then, Yakuhai Dora for Garth is probably what we'd be looking at. Somebody drops South, it's gotta go.
Ricci by Max waiting on the 7 so. Ari and Tenpai waiting on the 3 Mon and the 2 Mon. 2 Mon would be Sanshoku, boosting that up to a 2-hon hand.
There's the South, that's gotta be
it is also Big Chanta in Ari's hand actually, so that would be 3 Hon.
It's 3
Called
Hon
the South by Garth.
Yeah.
7-8 Rionmen, and Garth is gonna chuck that out. Don't need it when you have that 5 through 9 Pinzu shape.
What? So everybody but Max is playing open, and Max has already reached. But
Max has gotta win it. Ricci. No,
Ricci,
Ura.
let's go.
140, 2,000 points. Max gets back over 30,000, 31,700, and Max gets to hold on to the dice for a little bit.
Yep, that is Homba 1. Max pulling it out of nowhere. Love to see it. Huge. Everybody was pushing. Like, you could not ask for a better time to win.
Massive 1-hon hands going around here. The other, it kind of reminds me of playing, just trying to get out the quickest win you can. I played a tournament the other day in the Milwaukee area that was about getting the quickest win. Hong Kong Mahjong group in the area had what they called a chicken tournament. Chicken referring to chicken hand. And basically, it was just get the quickest hand. And if your hand was more valuable, there wasn't a points boost for it. Every hand was the same value. It was a particularly interesting tournament. I had a lot of fun in it, but I also finished 12th out of 16 just by having terrible luck and only winning 2 hands that tournament. It was like 3 East games and yeah, that was basically it for the qualifying section. So really tough tournament. Really needed good luck in it, but I still had a good time in it.
Of course, and we have plenty of local tournaments going on. We have our league right now, Armel. Big shout out to the organizers, everybody. And back to this game here. Max picking up a 5 mon and possible Sanshoku. I'm pretty sure he'd want to keep it closed. And I mean, probably just a full send on his end. But Garth had been building, a girthy hand, so to speak. There's a lot of action here. Yeah, and only one Dora in one person's hand. Everybody is making their value. Tempai for Garth on 4,
リーチ
so only. That's to
One
keep the Tanya
one
out.
one so would also be Pinfu. There's no Tanya because of the 9 mon.
Oh, I didn't see the 9 mon. Thank you.
It can be a little bit sneaky like that.
Yeah, it was hidden right there. But yep, two-sided weight. Reaching on a 7 mon. Also two-sided weight. Also Pinfu. And a 7 mon's gonna be
リー
safe.
チ
Ari, I think, is bowing
Ooh.
out here. All right, we got a Ricci now.
Now that you
Full send.
now that you lock
Sumo.
in the Tanya. Ooh, Garth draws it. This is
Yep,
gonna
now that
be
you
big.
locked
Richi,
in.
Patsu, Sumo, Pinfu, Tanya. Could you get more? No Ura. Just misses out on Hanemon. 2,000, 4,000. Transfers over to Garth. And Garth is trying to turn around the luck that JPML pros have been having tonight. Good start by winning a Mongon, and now Garth is dealer.
Yeah, and Garth, well-earned dealership, leading the table right now. We're in East 3, so clearly things are looking up for Garth and going Garth's way. And based on placement, Garth needs a W. This could be huge for Garth. So, Cheetoy Gamer, 3 pairs. So
Three pairs. That's still 3 Shanten away from Chi Toy.
it is, but as a Cheetoy degenerate, self-proclaimed, once you start getting the sniff for it, you kind of see it and like, oh man, that'd be a nice one if I could hit it.
You would get slapped by Korak.
Most likely.
biggest Chi Toy hater.
Oh, speaking of Dora, by the way, look at Max. 2 Dora trying to fit it into his hand actively. Is he also possibly got a Sanshoku there?
5, 6, 7. Gonna need to draw something around the 5 and
He's
6
missing-
Monzu.
Yeah, he's not missing too much. Could also go for Ibeko. Back to Garth. We're getting close to Tempai. We're not there yet. We still got 3 tiles to get rid of, too.
8, 9. Penchant shape is gonna be thrown away.
Most likely. And let's see. Kinyan's hand.
Good draw by Garth to fill in that Rion men. 3, 4, 5. So now E Shanten with 2 pairs.
Huge.
Well, I think you can only
Tempai. Somebody Tempai. It would be
10 pi
Max.
for Max waiting on the 6 so only. It would be Ipe Konomi. Richi by
Round
Ari
2.
waiting on the 3-6 pin. Can we see a
And-
snap call by Max? No, gonna continue to stay in Dama waiting on the 6 so.
Okay, good. He now he has to kind of think like there's only one out. He hasn't sent it yet, so he can still fix it. But from our perspective, there's only one left. I don't see. I don't know if he's gonna see that, so to speak. Ooh, we picked up a pair, so that's 1 away now.
Fill in of the 1, 2, 3 by Kinyan.
It is 6-3. Max is using both the 6s. There's the 3. It's a pretty good weight. This is a pretty tight table. This is like top, yeah, A division, duh.
What would be Imagine watching C level play in an A level table.
And you never know. So
Be
I've
like,
seen weirder things out. Sumo picked up the 3 pin.
Richi Sumo no Ura, so 500 1000's gotta get passed. And into East 4 now. Kenyon's gonna be dealer, pair of green dragons in Max's hands, and a pair of Easts in Ari's hands.
Yep, and no Dora
Gotta
yet.
pass on the first East.
Sometimes you just feel like it's going to come out again later. Other times you could have accidentally had no call selected. So, you know, those are usually the two methods behind it. That's going to get called. Yep. No, it doesn't drop the white dragon. Interesting. And as we're back to Kenyon here, dropping 9 Mon. And just kind of slow. You know, we have that one open, but not much of a hand, so to speak. Still a lot of work to be done. You know, one of the lessons I always remember being told was, if you're gonna call or open a tile, like, what does it do for you? That's some good luck right there. Picked up the 3 pin.
Some calls going around here as Garth is either trying to hedge that north or maybe even make a push for Tanyao.
Kenyon's trying to get Ipeco.
Gotta fill in that Sanmenchan shape for Ari. Formon is not going to be called. That would eliminate Garth's 2 pairs.
Interesting. Decide to hold on to a West and White Dragon this late into the game.
Tenpai for Garth waiting on the
Richi.
7 pin. Richi by Ari waiting on the 4 So or East. There's no East on display anywhere else. There's 2 left in the wall. Garth thinking about maybe calling this one. And will and is gonna change over to an 8-pin Dora Tonki.
Look, I would be thinking that's Chinitsu or Honitsu 8 days a week.
Yeah, that is quite the deceiving discard pile as well.
That is terrifying. Yep, and now you have people hedging that. There's a good chance that you don't want to drop Dora if you pick it up. I don't know. I don't see it coming out. Oh, that hurts. Had to throw away Ipeco.
Another 8-pin is gonna be drawn, so that'll make the weight dead. I don't think anyone here is gonna discard the Dora so easily, especially in the
This
face of a
late.
Ricci.
And yeah, I think, yeah, literally, best case scenario is, I just blanked on the name because I can't read.
There's an
Ari
East. There's an East
wins.
drawn that's gonna stay in Kinion's hand for a bit. Forso also gets drawn. We'll stay there. There's still 2 left in the wall somewhere.
Ooh, there's
Oh,
one.
another Forso gets drawn. Which side is Garth gonna discard out of?
Cut the 7. Yeah.
Cuts the 7. So now only 1 East left somewhere. Down to 9 discards remaining. 9 draws remaining.
It is getting tight in here. It is. You can feel the pressure. Oh, another
Pawn call.
4 tiles left. You gotta hope you hit something here. And it's probably not gonna be Dora. Ooh, oh!
Oh! Max is
Why?
not taking Tenpai there. 9-pin probably signaled a bit too much danger as we go into Ryukyoku. Ari and Garth will be gaining from that. Garth moving a little bit closer to 40k. Ari moving a little closer to 30k. Now into the South rounds.
Yep. South
And
round
we
and
have a
round
lot of
three.
garbage single honor tiles we have to cycle through. Oh. Well, Max pairs up the double Souths, so that's something at least. Garth also has a pair of the West, as I was talking about garbage honors. They paired up the correct ones as I was speaking.
Max picks up a third 6-pin. Max's hand is looking the fastest of all of these here. It's Max's
Boom.
wind. He's got to call that. So
Max is gonna
double
call that.
win, one Dora, and one away.
3
Yeah,
Han.
I don't see. Oh, directly across where we have 3 West and 3
Boom.
9 so in the same hand though.
Another call by Max, so that's gonna be 10 Pi waiting on the 7 Mon.
There it
Boom.
is.
And it drops. Max is gonna call it Dora. 6,500 gain for Max. And Max gets over the crucial 30k line into South 2 now. Across the way, Kenyon draws a triplet of the Norths.
Feeling bad for Ari. Didn't even get to really enjoy your dealership. And of course, somebody like Max ripping it from you. I like Max. I like Yoshi. So yeah, that's huge. Getting over that, 300k line. The amount of times I've missed it, but nothing really fitting into any of the players' hands here. We have some shapes that are kind of being built, but it's going to take more time for these players to come through. Max having the best possible hand from what I can see. No, we have a Yakuhai of Red Dragon directly to our right.
Oh, Nitsu sent by Kenyon, cutting away from the 6 so pairs.
To me, a hard Honitsu to grab. That
Well, there's
one's going to
another
help out
1 Mon.
tremendously.
Now you need to do something with those honor tiles or draw even more Monzu,
Ooh,
naturally.
Max is not had dropped 2 of the 5s. It's always a rough one. Let's see, Max has 1 Dora, and then Ari just picked up a Dora. That's fantastic for Ari. That's 1 step closer to the edge. Max picking up 2nd. Right, that's not good for everybody else at the table. And I believe he's like,
That's
was it
perfect
Nishan?
Nishan for Max.
Jeez.
Yeah,
2
that was
pairs. Ricci by Garth on the South Tonki. Oh, that is spicy.
I wonder if it's gonna come out though. I would anticipate more of a self draw, but oh, here it comes.
So there's still some time being bought. You also have Red Dragon to buy time.
Yeah, we'll just take the tiles that are obviously safe and drop those first any day of the week.
There's an
Need the
8 Mon.
No.
Drops the South to Garth. Ricci, Chun, Dora. No Uras. 6,400 transfer, and Garth gets over 40,000. JPML taking back their red envelopes that they gave away earlier today. Garth over 40,000 into South 3. Garth is your dealer.
Wait, red envelopes. New Year's, right?
Yeah, like the New Year's envelopes. So
yeah. Okay. Cool.
yeah,
wanted to make sure I was right.
we had just been seeing like a lot of horribly unlucky games for Garth and Jen where they dealt in a bunch, and now Garth is leading this table.
Yeah, Garth with a massive lead. Has a Yakuhai, possibly Ipeiko. Just a nasty hand. just to be honest. And you gotta imagine that either a 1 or that last white dragon in Max's hand is gonna drop. Like, trying to go for that pair. And let's see what everybody else is cooking.
4, 6, 8 Pinzu shape for Garth in Shanten. No, in yes, Shanten.
Oh yeah, yeah. Never mind. You're right.
I had to think about it for a little bit too.
My accounting is off today. I am lying. Does not con. I'm a little disappointed, personally, but I respect the play.
Not quite the position to con when you're leading. You don't want to boost anyone else's value inadvertently.
Hey, this is not good advice, but yes, that is exactly the time you con when you're playing for fun.
We're hearing through the grapevine that Jen took plus 30 first place in her second game after we stepped away from the B1 series. So really it's JPML taking back all the presents that they gave out. 3-sided wait for Max waiting on the 2-5 pin 7, so I love that shape whenever it appears.
Oh, and that kills Ipatsu, and then probably the chance of getting it. Let's see, how many are left? So the 2 7s, 1 out, 1 being used. So that would mean a 5 or a 2. I don't know about you, but
There's
when
only 2
people,
tiles you can win off of. 1, 2, and 1, 5.
Here's the main thing that scares me about a Ricci is dropping a 5 into it.
Ricci by Kenyon waiting on the 3-6 mon.
Oh, yeah, and right now Garth gotta be playing defense. Gotta be thinking like what's actually safe in my hand right now. But yeah, when somebody Ricci's, it is so much harder for me to drop a 5 into them. It is, I don't know what it is.
Kenyon
But
draws
Sumo,
it.
6 mon.
Ricci Sumo Pinfu. 1 Ura, but it's gonna be 420. The biggest scam in Ricci Mahjong, 1326, gets passed over. Hey, we're in all last now, and Garth is looking to make a big Garth is looking to make a big jump from this, especially with everyone else being under 30k this time.
Yeah, and going into South 4 here, your last chance to make the game happen. You got to maintain your dealership. So much pressure. Having a half decent hand, like this isn't the best, but I would take this as a starting high buy over some of the crap I've been getting recently. Yep, and just fills in that shape perfectly.
Four so, right. That's gonna drop the 9 so. Should I mute as I clear my throat, or do y'all want to hear this?
It happens.
South comes out, and is that going to be a call by Ari for the double Souths? Call by Ari, double Souths, also double Dora. So that's looking like a quick 4-Han bomb. Still got a little bit of work to do. I believe that is a 2 Shanten hand. A drop of the 1 mon could be a way to move the hand forward.
I wish we allowed Nagashi, but I know it doesn't exist here.
There's no Nagashi in Armel. That's news to me. That's unfortunate news.
Oh yeah, that's been the rule. I was one of the things I first read, obviously read before you do join up stuff, is that they didn't do Nagashi, and I always like to poke Edwin every once in a while. I'll be like, hey, come on, man, let's do Nagashi. It's kind of fun. But beyond the point, we have a fantastic hand in front of us.
Oh, dude, do you shift over to Toy Toy if you're Ari? Looks like that's the play. Gotta cut away
Yeah.
that 7-8 Pinzu shape and try to get a toy out of this. That would bump it up a bit.
That's 4
That is Hanemon.
for Toy, and then 6 for Dora. So yeah, you got to
You
push
also have
them
a
and
Sadanko
Tenpai.
chance now, so if Ari draws the tile, that is
So
Baimon?
we're Tenpai on 5-1. Both ones are gone.
Only 1-5 left in the wall.
相撲
Ooh, and that's a sumo.
Sumo
that's
Dora by
heartbreak.
Max ends it all. Max gets over 30,000.
Exactly what you would want.
Garth takes a little bit back, but this has been quite the reckoning game for JPML pros, including the game that Gen won. Garth goes up 26.8, Max 6.8, Ari drops 8.9, and that's not a terrible fourth actually, 20,300, but it is fourth nonetheless. So you do get the hit from taking fourth there.
Yeah, and the UMA and the under 3 is under 300 is gonna hurt, but it is what it is. And it's a competitive league for a reason. As we can see here, we're gonna be wrapping up with the stats here. Here's what the tables look like currently, with Jason and Furs having played 7 games. That's a really odd number now that I'm looking at it because nobody else has 7 games. But is what it is. Kenyon goes up to 5th actually, so huge for them. Wait, that'd be dropping, wouldn't it? It's probably not live.
Yep. These
I think
scores
the
have,
one on the
yeah.
right is.
the
I think the
scores have
one
not
on the
yet
right is
updated.
live. It is plus 95.
Yep. The
Yeah,
full
when I
stat
have
sheet
2
does not
different
update as quickly.
scoreboards.
So
That's fun.
as much as we said, I think we just were bearing witness to, to Garth and Jen just having like a rough game, because as we saw with Garth and the one we missed from Jen, like, even if they weren't as big of firsts, like they got back, they they really patched over most of the damage done. So props to both of them. I mean, that's really where strong play comes from, is not from necessarily looking at that individual game, but looking at how they can perform over the course of a season. It's about being able to patch over those losses and know what your conditions are that you need to get back to. So.
Exactly. Conditions is everything. And speaking of condition, I think we're on a condition to start wrapping up here.
I want to take a moment to apologize for a comment I made earlier on the stream that Ty pointed out to me, where I used C League as an analogy for poor play. Um, as someone who tried doing the league 2 years ago and then quit because they didn't have the mental toughness to get through it, I am not in a position to judge how well anyone in this league plays. Just by playing in Armel, I have so much respect for anyone who plays in this league, as someone who's found themselves unable to play in this as someone who found themselves unable to play in this league. So I apologized for making the analogy about C League, and generally we shouldn't be putting down we shouldn't be putting down players on commentary. So though that was a mistake for me, and if I made any other mistakes tonight, I'm sorry. But yeah, I just want to get that out of the way before we wrap things up. Ty, you want to take us out?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that last comment. Yep. It's different leagues are more about like the progress you've made, right? Like you might be newer, you might, just had some rough seasons. You might still be learning some things, but that's part of progress. So, but there's nothing else from me. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. We had a lovely set of games there. Remember, please sign up by. Let's check. Please remember to sign up if you want to join in the spring season. I believe the cutoff is sometime in March. Apologies. Please check us out at AmericanReachy.org. Let me go ahead and swap the screens here so y'all can see some of our socials.
Yep. And also for any players like myself currently on hiatus, always remember to take yourself off hiatus so you don't demote that way.
Yep. And that's the nice thing about the league is that you are able to take breaks. Even though it's 3-month cycles, if you know it's a time that it's not good for you, you can always take a break and come back. And so the way
Yeah, it's
they
like
try,
playing a sports league. It's amazing. I love it actually. 3-month off season actually goes hard. Uh, Nice and refreshing.
oh yeah. Also, make sure to check us out. These VODs do go up to YouTube. So just look us up there, Mikurichi Mahjong League, as well as check out our Twitter for all the people who still call it that. Thank you so much to Will, who was here earlier. Thank you so much to John and to Ross for some wonderful commentary this evening. We will see you all next week. My name's Ty. Y'all have a good
Thank
night.
you. Have a good one.
Y'all take care.